Probably most of you already know that Unreal Engine 4 uses Blueprints and C++ as their primary programming languages. Every day new developers are starting to work with UE4, which can raise up a dilemma. Which language to use? In this video we'll take a look at the pros and cons of both and hopefully help you solve it. Hey guys, Nitro here. Today we are doing another video about tips and tricks for Unreal Engine 4. In this video we'll cover some of the points which you should consider when starting using UE4. A big thank you to all the people that supported the last video about mechanics. It seems that you guys liked it a lot. New tutorials are going to come really soon, so make sure to stay tuned for those. As well, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with new videos. So without losing any more time, let's start. First, I want to say that in this video we will refer to programming language as language. When starting with UE4, it is crucial to use the best programming language for your games. Depending on what you choose, your game can be better or worse. Choosing the right language can make the difference between a good developer and a bad one. Let's talk about the blueprint system and C++ first. While there is a big controversy around blueprints, whether they are good or not, they can be really useful. A lot of people hate blueprints because it is a visual scripting programming language, though some of them don't even consider it being a programming language. Usually, blueprints are used for fast prototyping, seeing if a mechanic is good or not, how to achieve it, and what's the logic behind it. There are some games as well, fully made out of blueprints. This visual scripting language is especially useful for new game developers that are trying to start in the industry, since it lets them show off their creativity and also what they can achieve. The blueprint system is still being developed, though at the moment it is already big enough to create a good game. As well, if you're having literally zero coding experience, the blueprints will be your best friends. C++ is a general-purpose programming language. In Unreal Engine, you'll use the OO, object-oriented part of it, most of the time, which includes classes, structures, and much more. As well, it is one of the most optimized programming languages currently existing, being designed toward large systems with performance, efficiency, and flexibility. Even though C++ is a pretty hard programming language to learn, it will surely pay off in the end. Alright, now let's take a look at 4 aspects that might influence your choice and make a concrete comparison between the languages. Number 1. Performance. The main downside with blueprints is the performance. You can easily kill it by using multiple event ticks with high usage, doing complex math or using them in general for big projects that can't handle them that well, while C++ will support more than blueprints can handle. But fortunately, Epic implemented a feature called nativizing blueprints. This feature will transform them from blueprints into C++ for a better performance. Number 2 is complexity. Probably all of us know that blueprints are really easy to start with, while C++ is a lot harder to learn. And it makes total sense, blueprints were made for easy coding, but because of it being so easy, it lacks good performance, just as said before. As well, if this is your first time using a language, then just try to learn blueprints first. They will help you a bit to understand the logic behind everything, and after that you can learn C++ as well to extend your skill. The third aspect is development. Now we'll talk a bit about how advanced both of these languages are. As I said before, blueprints are still being developed by Epic Games, creating new nodes, features, and increasing the performance. But there is a significant gap between them and C++. For example, blueprints currently don't support doubles, some types of integers, and other variables from C++. And the last aspect, personal preference and knowledge. This is one of the most influencing aspects when choosing a language to use. If you prefer visual coding, nodes to connect, overall easier work, or you just basically hate usual coding, then use blueprints. They are really easy to understand, some of the nodes names are self-explanatory, but if you prefer to type and normal coding or debugging your code for ages, then use C++. Also, the personal preference is influenced by knowledge. If you already have some knowledge about C++, you'll most probably want to use C++. The same thing applies to blueprints. And now, after we talked a bit about both of these languages, the difference between them and the pros and cons, we need to actually answer the question of this video. The answer is that it totally depends on what we talked about above. It may sound silly, but there is no other person to actually answer that question but yourself. While the first 2 points are totally important, the other 2 depends on what you'll want to make. But in my opinion, the best option is to learn and use both in combination. The blueprint system was made to be used in combination with C++. For example, in C++ you can do the heavy coding and then in the blueprint system just customize and implement more things into mechanics or whatever you are creating. But there is also one more thing to consider that I want to talk about. That is working in a team. Usually a team is composed of one modeler, one artist, one musician and one programmer. Of course, I'm not saying that this is the only composition it can have, but this is the standard for a complete game. As well, there are teams that can have 2 or more programmers. If you find yourself in that situation, then talk with the others, see what they want and try to balance everything. So this is pretty much all for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it and also that it was useful for beginners. Don't forget to tell me in the comments below what do you think about this video. I'm trying to keep these videos short and concise to let everyone learn as fast as possible and also doing it the right way. Hopefully that is not a problem. And before ending this video, don't forget to join Polyround Discord server. It is a pretty big community that recently hit 7,000 members. There we can talk more about game development, and as well, if you still have any questions about this topic, I'll be able to help you there in real time. Thanks for watching, see you next time.